Our final activist, Lara Zamora dos Santos, has dedicated her career to fighting for women's rights. Through her work at the Center for the Working Woman, a non-governmental organization in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Iara serves as the project coordinator of COMTRA, the Center for the Working Woman, where her main goal is to help women access their rights. COMTRA does this by offering a variety of educational resources. The first, a free annual course titled Young Women in Defense of Their Rights, allows women from around Brazil to travel to Rio de Janeiro from outside suburbs and have a safe space to discuss feminist ideas as well as their experiences with sexism. Through this course, they are given the resources and information to become leaders and activists in the fight for women's rights within their own communities. Iara also works with COMTRA to host workshops, provide classes, and distribute pamphlets in hopes to ensure that women are aware of their rights. They set up what they call the Tent of Rights in Sara, a large commercial center with thousands of undervalued and overworked employees. At the Tent of Rights, Iara and her team supply informational materials on reproductive health, sexual health, and sexually transmitted diseases. They even distribute condoms so that the citizens of Rio de Janeiro have access to contraception. Iara's work at COMTRA has been pivotal in the development of her ideological beliefs. The organization was founded by her mother, Eleuteria, and as a result, Iara began working there at 14. Now, through her work, Iara aims to create a space where other women can develop their beliefs and stand up for their rights without the interference of male biases. An analysis of an interview of Lara Zamora dos Santos, conducted by Sue-Ann Caulfield as part of the Global Feminisms Project, the themes of feminist activism and the fight for reproductive justice in Latin America become apparent. Iara states that in Brazil, abortion is permitted in the case of rape, sexual violence, pregnancy resulting from sexual violence, or when the mother's life is at risk. However, an upcoming bill facing the National Congress contradicts the current law. This bill, the Statute of the Unborn, gives full protection to the unborn, even in cases when an abortion is legal, regressing the process that the nation has made in achieving reproductive justice. The legislation in Brazil ties to our class discussion of the definition of reproductive justice and what rights fall within it. In her book, Reproductive Injustice, Racism, Pregnancy, and Premature Birth, Danaane Davis states, reproductive justice exists when all people have the economic, social, and political power and resources to make healthy decisions about their lives. It includes the right to have or not have children and focuses on personal bodily autonomy and living in safe and sustainable communities. Reproductive justice implies the availability of abortion as a human right. Activists like Lara continue to fight in hopes of one day attaining reproductive justice, despite the continuous attempts by their government to take away what they believe to be their right as human beings. Lara also explained how advances in legislation in Brazil don't equally each all women. Black women and women of low socioeconomic status don't have the means to access their newly acquired rights due to the poor implementation of this legislation. The concept of intersectionality, a metaphor for understanding the way that multiple forms of inequality or disadvantage sometimes compound themselves, demonstrates how women from marginalized groups often face more obstacles in accessing their rights. For example, the Maria da Penha law on domestic and family violence in Brazil makes prosecution in cases of domestic violence more effective. However, Lara explains that in reality, many women, mainly Black women and women of low socioeconomic status, are often unaware of this law, and if they are aware, they often don't know how to access their rights. They are less likely to file complaints of domestic violence, or to know where or how to file a complaint, due to the inequality that they face as members of more than one marginalized community. As part of Yara's work, she hopes to educate all women on the rights that they hold and the rights that they deserve, to continue the advancement towards reproductive justice and to lessen the obstacles that women in marginalized communities face.